everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Around the Valley, the sports show where the points don't matter and the award's a Christmas tree. I am your host, Will Zimmerman, joined alongside me with my esteemed colleague, Kyle Miklinevich. Today we're switching things up a little bit. We're going to go with 5 topics debated for 5 minutes instead of our usual 7 topics for 3 minutes. However, we're going to keep with, at the end of our discussion, our fabulous crew is going to vote on which of us has out-debated the other one. That will determine this week's People's Champion. Kyle, I am 0 for 2 on the People's Championship right now.
You're struggling
so you're going to
bit.
hit me with a topic and let's get this thing on.
All right, I'm going to jump right over to the NBA, test your knowledge on the NBA real quick. Okay, so LeBron James is arguably the best player on the planet right now. He's won 3 MVPs, 2 out of the last 4 MVPs, excuse me. He won an NBA Finals MVP, a Finals ring, and an Olympic gold medal in 12 months' time. So you can argue that he's the best player on the planet Earth right now. So the MVP race in the NBA, shaping up to be another Kevin Durant, LeBron James showdown here.
Yeah.
You got LeBron at 27.6 points a game, rebounding 8.1 rebounds a game, 7 assists, a block, and a steal and a half a game. So my question is, who is going to put up numbers that's going to be even comparable to LeBron James?
I mean, right now, in my opinion, right now, you got probably like a 4 or 5 man race. Obviously, LeBron, his playing is out of control right now.
Right.
He's the standard. Kevin Durant is right on his heels, and we definitely want to mention Kevin Durant. I mean, he's playing very well. Kobe, you got to throw him in there. I know the Lakers aren't playing well, but he has raised his game at like an old age where he's playing like at least like 27.4 points per game, close to like 6 or 7 assists. Like he's trying to move the ball. He's trying to be the facilitator there. So, I mean, you got to kind of put him in that conversation. Chris Paul,
right.
All of a sudden the Clips, they're number 3 in the East, might even be number 2 right now. And he's throwing up numbers. So, I mean, you got to throw him in the debate. And then maybe Carmelo.
Yeah, see, that's where I disagree.
Yeah.
Melo puts up the points, and he's got a good cast around him in New York. But it seems like whenever it comes down the stretch, when the team really starts to lock down in the fourth quarter, Carmelo is the Carmelo where he's missing the jump shot, or he's hogging the ball. He's not getting the ball into the post. And
I guess, but he's the one also throwing up 40 points a game, and he's the one that is the. I mean, last night he scored 42 points a game, or 2 nights ago, and they only scored 83. If he might be, I guess you could say he's a ball stopper, but at the same time, he is the one putting it in the net to keep you kind of in those games. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's going to be LeBron James, but like. I don't know, man. Kevin Durant, if you have the option, who do you pick? Because realistically, it is those two. I mean, let's just get everybody else. We mentioned them, but realistically, it's Kevin Durant and LeBron James.
Foreseeing somebody down the stretch just having an incredible, closing 20 games to the season, you have to assume it's going to be one of those two.
Right. So who would you rather build your team around?
Yeah, if I'm picking a franchise tomorrow, which, I always like to think about, Kevin Durant's at 24, he's a lot younger, and he has, you could say an unlimited ceiling because of his skill set, how tall he is, how athletic he is. But at the same time, LeBron James is that defensive stopper that I need on my team. He not only plays offense at the highest level and makes everyone on the floor a better player on offense, but on defense, he's one of the most feared players in the game. If you're on the breakaway and you're going for a layup, you're going to get blocked by LeBron James. He's going to fly out from the free throw line, and you're not going to see him coming.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a tacky answer. I think, if you look at if you're going to build a team tomorrow, the careers between Kevin Durant and LeBron James are almost identical. They came into the league, I want to say 2 years apart, might even have been 1 year apart.
LeBron's 28, Kevin Durant's 24.
Okay,
and LeBron didn't play in college.
But Kevin Durant, he went to Seattle for that 1 year, terrible team. It's the second overall pick. They get moved to a market where there's nothing. It's Oklahoma City. They're it was a joke the first year in the league. They were called the Thunder. It was like a video game, name. And but he ends up being the centerpiece to a team that builds up and is now one of the premier franchises in the league. LeBron James did pretty much his same arc. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers they rise them from the ashes, goes to Miami, wins a championship, obviously with the big 3. But I mean, their numbers are comparable. Kevin Durant, he just doesn't get enough credit. I know LeBron's a standard, but they're almost identical if you really look at it.
LeBron James is just so much more marketed as the brand that he is. Kevin Durant is becoming more of that household name. Obviously, everyone knows that he can score the basketball, but people don't realize that he has a similar line all the way through the whole box score.
Right.
But the thing with Kevin Durant is the way he has risen to at 24 to the elite status in the game is he got drafted by Seattle. They drafted really well. They drafted Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka. They have Thabo Sefolosha, who plays incredible defense. They've amassed all this talent on their team. They had Jeff Green originally, and they traded for Kendrick Perkins, and they're a formidable roster, but they're young.
Yeah.
And LeBron James, like we talked about this with the NBA, is players to pick what team they want to go to now. Dwight Howard did not want to be in Orlando. He made that known very well. He called out his coach publicly in the media, and then he got shipped to LA. And now he's playing some of the worst basketball of his life, I'm sure. And the NBA, you can dictate where you want to go. LeBron James and Dwayne Wade talked on the phone, and they got Chris Bosh to form the Big Three in Miami. And it feels like that's the way the game is going. It's more of like I want to build my championship team right now, my Jordan and Pippen right now, and win 6 championships.
But I think that also speaks to how that Kevin Durant may. Because, I mean, when you do look at their numbers, I think LeBron James is 37-8 or something right around there. And Kevin Durant's 28, 7.5 boards. I think he's right around like 3 or 4 assists and 1.2 blocks. Their numbers are very comparable.
But the only thing you can say the difference is the shooting percentages. Because LeBron James is shooting 56% from the field, and he shoots from all over the place. Okay. All right.
Cut off.
That's
all
fine.
Right.
We'll move on.
We're going to move on topics, everybody. All right, so we're going to go over to baseball. And it recently came out that Magic Johnson has bought the Los Angeles Dodgers along with a couple other people, but he's the main face. They spent $233 million on their team's roster, and he came out and said it's basically championship or bust. My question to you is: do you think that the raised salary cap, or just salary in general, means higher expectations, or does it mean higher expectations and like it's much more conceivable that they're going to fail?
Well, I think we all know too well what happened in Boston a couple years ago, 2 years ago in the free agency and the offseason. There had been rumors that Adrian Gonzalez had been going to the Red Sox for 2 seasons prior, and then they finally made the big deal where they gave up Anthony Rizzo and some other talented pitchers to get him from San Diego. And then they brought in Carl Crawford kind of at the last minute almost swept him out from underneath the Yankees and made a big splash with that deal. And then they come out and they struggle in September, and then they right down the stretch they just lose. So we're all familiar with the way it breaks down. You spend the money and you go out and get the marquee players, doesn't mean your team is going to win, especially in the AL East where it's the most competitive division. So out west, the Dodgers are trying to buy themselves a new roster. Effectively, they paid. They obviously have Adrian Gonzalez, Josh Beckett, Carl Crawford now from that one trade.
Yeah,
Hanley Ramirez, who has a huge contract. Matt Kemp, who's overpaid, or not overpaid, but he's one of the highest paid players. Andre Ethier, who just got an extension. So they have all these names and these contracts, and they're playing for right now. And those expectations are huge, especially in a city like LA with the biggest market.
Right, and I mean, I think you look at They went out and spent $233 million. And last year, the New York Yankees were the top-selling team at $197 million. And the team that won it was the 8th biggest franchise, I guess you could say, at $117 million. So they're going over $100 million more to get big-name players to make a splash and hopefully win a championship. The problem is that baseball is a 162-game season. People are going to get hurt. It's just the way they're going to miss some games. It's very rare these days that you're seeing big money guys playing 160 games. They're probably somewhere right around the 145 to 155 game mark. And so these big names, they're not going to be the ones, you don't need the name. It's not like basketball where LeBron James instantly you become a contender.
Right.
You get Adrian Gonzalez, he's not going to make you all of a sudden a World Series caliber team. So I personally don't think that that's the way that, I think basically it sets up your fan base for failure. I mean, for just disappointment.
Right, because you're never going to reach the expectations of a $250 million payroll.
You can't, unless you win 150 games.
Exactly. Unless you go out and you set the record for most wins
in
a 162-game season, you're not going to be satisfied. Which I understand why a team like the Rays, who takes a long time to develop their prospects, has good pitching, and they just play baseball. Joe Madden has that team playing great baseball. They're competitive every single year, but their payroll is consistently in the bottom half. And you got a team like the Astros. We talked about this last week. Their payroll is minuscule. It's tiny. They don't have their highest paid player is less than the average salary in the major leagues, and that's unheard of.
Yeah.
And the stratification between the salaries, it's astronomical.
I mean, I have in front of me here the list of the top 10 spending franchises, and then the ones that made the playoffs, and it's split 5 and 5. 5 are within the top 10, upwards of $100 million. I think number 10 is actually like $97 million. But then, so 1 through 9 spends over $100 million. And then there are the, Oakland, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Atlanta, and Washington are all under $85 million.
Under the average.
Under the average. Because I think the average salary is somewhere in the 98 million, something like that. So it just, I think that going out and spending, obviously it's championship or bust magic because you just spent $250 million on a baseball team, and you have no idea if that's going to work out for you at all. And all you're doing is raising the expectations. And I mean, you're paying upwards of $20 million to two guys, and honestly, let's face facts, they're not going to play every game.
Right.
Adrian Gonzalez might be able to go out there and play every game.
He's durable if once his shoulder is healed. Once his shoulder was healthy in Boston, not only was he out there every day, but he hit incredibly. He raked, you could say.
Yeah.
So you're going to get production out of Adrian Gonzalez. It's a little bit more of a pitcher's ballpark, but it's in Southern California where he's from.
Right.
So I see him having a good season, but at the same time, in 5 years, that team is going to be full of Alex Rodriguez. You have Alex Rodriguez who's undergoing hip surgery, and now he's going to be out for who knows how long. He could miss the whole season, and his payroll is upwards of $20 million.
That's
So
$27.5 million.
Right, you're going to have a lot of those players where you're using up $200 million of payroll, and you got.
I mean, to me, I just look at the Red Sox. For their fan base, we went out for the first time in a long time at Splaster Free Agency, and it just wasn't. It didn't work out at all. Oh,
there we go.
Cut off. Saved by the bell. Saved by the bell.
All right, so next we are going to college basketball. College basketball. Okay, so there's been some serious parity in college basketball over the last couple of weeks. We've seen a multitude of top 5 teams drop to unranked teams and ranked opponents. Indiana lost to Illinois in an overtime thriller, 74-70. Oh no, it was end of regulation. Excuse me, 74-72 on a really terribly defended backdoor cut to the basket, and they lost the game. So Illinois is unranked, but it was a big win for them. Indiana managed to stay at number 1 after beating Ohio State this past week. Michigan lost to an unranked Wisconsin by 3 in overtime. Syracuse, after beating number 1 Louisville the week before, lost to Villanova and then Pitt. And then Florida, who was number 2 at the time, lost to Arkansas by 11. Got beat.
Unranked, got beat
so
down.
My question to you, Will, is parity in college basketball good? Because everybody's been saying that they don't like it. They like having that definable number 1 team that you can go beat, that true like top-ranked team and then underdogs. So I want to ask you, what is your thoughts on parity?
I mean, I think, obviously you want to take the opinion that parity in any sport is, so every week in and week out, or day in and day out for college basketball, anybody can go out and beat another opponent. I actually am, when I think about it though, it's, I'm a college basketball fan. I guess you could say that I'm more casual than incessant. I definitely, I love college basketball, but again, I love the big names in college basketball. So parity, obviously, it's really fun and exciting to watch small mid-majors coming up and beating those teams. You have VCU in the Final Four a couple of years ago. You have Butler, 2 Final Fours, like all of a sudden in 2 years, and it is fun to see, but at the same time, you love seeing the Kansas-Kentucky matchups and stuff like that. What it does bode well for, though, is, it boosts conference names. So like the A10, UMass is so, we're UMass affiliated, but so they're in the Athletic 10 conference. They're getting a lot of hype because Butler's a number 14 team. VCU was recently ranked. They just dropped out because they dropped a game last week. So, it is great to see a lot of programs making names, but you gotta love the big name programs. I don't know. It's just kind of how I feel.
Right. Like you said, it helps the mid-major teams, and as UMass students, we both want to see UMass get back to the dance. That's a big thing. They haven't gone there back since Camby was here in '96, right? So how many times have they made the show? Was it 8 times?
Something like that.
So we're not sure exactly, but this season they're 16-6. With 6-3 record in the Atlantic 10 Conference. So they don't have an outside shot. They have a legitimate shot.
Yeah.
If they win the A10 outright, they're in the dance. And like we know, watching March Madness, is anything can happen.
Yeah.
We've had 15s beat 2s in the last couple of years, which is a serious upset.
Yeah.
If you think about it this way. But you like the parity in college basketball?
I mean, I do because
But you like the big names.
I love the big names. Okay. I do. I love the big names. But thinking about it, for it's great for college itself because the mid majors, those schools get pumped up when you get into a dance.
If you think about going to a game,
the Creightons,
right?
If you're a contender, it makes I obviously want to go to the games as much as I can now, just because we have a team that we can root for, and maybe they make the dance. It's really exciting. But as a fan's perspective, you gotta say that those big name teams are fun to watch. They get the best recruit. It is fun to watch something like that. I don't know if that's how you feel. Or
yeah, I mean, I like the big names. I like seeing Kansas and Kentucky, and I like seeing Indiana, who's been a good basketball team historically. I like seeing those guys compete and win. But at the same time, I like seeing the mid majors come out and and pull upsets. I don't like necessarily seeing people storm the court every week because it's getting old. Everyone's commented on that. But if I go to that school and my team beats a top 3 team, I'm 100% storming the court, and I wouldn't even look back. I'm storming the court.
I mean, it makes it so much fun, but at the same time, like. I don't know, because if there is too much parity, then beating those big teams, like you're saying, it's getting a little annoying because there are so many times that you're beating these big name teams.
It's no longer that I finally beat the #1 team. That's this.
Right, exactly. And so, like, I guess you kind of, I guess it's almost a catch-22 question. You kind of need those big name programs to be the ones that like carry you into. Running a storm of the court,
Sure.
They're the ones that then make it possible to storm the court.
If we're in the dance and we got a 15 seed beating a 2 seed, or if 16 beating a 1, and that's all of a sudden it's going to be crazy. Everyone's going to be talking about it. But if it happens, where an unranked team beats a #1, it happens so often now. It's okay. Another '1 went down.
Yeah.
And now we have to shift the rankings again this next week.
And Indiana retains the ranking even after losing.
Well, they beat Ohio State. Right.
Yeah, they
exactly.
beat a #10 Ohio State team. So I don't know. All right, we're gonna move on a little bit. We're gonna go over to hockey. So big news out of hockey was former Boston Bruins goaltender Tim Thomas, who has chosen to take a year off. He chose, so he quit essentially. He chose to take a year off, and he was actually traded from the Bruins to the New York Islanders. My question for you is, what do you think of Tim Thomas's fall from grace in Boston?
I wouldn't describe it as a fall from grace at all, Will. I know we and you differ on this topic, and that's why I was excited to talk about this. Tim Thomas in 2011 had statistically one of the best goaltending seasons in the history of goaltending, since goaltending has been kept as a stat, which is, I'm assuming, forever. Yeah. So he went in 57 games played in 2011. He had a 2.06 goals against average, which is insane. A 93.8 save percentage, which was the second highest regular season save percentage in NHL history, mind you. Only allowed 112 goals with 9 shutouts. He shut up other people 9 times, right? So 35, 11, and 9 record, that's a 63 win percentage.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can say that he has tarnished his reputation at all after having one of the best regular season performances, followed up by the best postseason performance ever, and won a Vezina and a Conn Smythe.
How can you not say okay, so yeah, 2012, great season. 2011, 2012, a great season again. 2011, obviously you'd love him as a Boston sports fan. You love him. He was a legend, okay? Mm-hmm. He went to one of those rare, Tom Brady hasn't even hit this. Tom Brady's like a pariah in Boston. Tim Thomas was Boston sports. He was the guy, the rogue guy, the guy who went around. He went to Europe. He played in Canada. He was older.
Journeyman.
He worked for it. He wanted it. He went to UVM, so he was a New England guy. And then he quits. He quits. Straight up quits. There's no other way you can describe that. He quit. He decided, I don't feel like playing. I'm citing family reasons, and he just decided, I'm under contract, but don't trade me, don't release me. I'm just not going to come play for you for a year. Oh yeah, Tuukka's good. Don't worry. I hope your backup's good too. You can't do that. You're under contract. That's what you do. It's one thing if he was expired contract and you want to say goodbye. That's your own decision. Okay, that's fine. That's like his decision to go to the White House. That's his own decision. I don't necessarily agree, but it is what it is. If he didn't want to go, he didn't want to go. You're under contract. You play for the team, or you ask to be traded and then deal with it.
I agree with you there. That's very I wouldn't say disrespectful, but it just, as a Bruins fan, it just hurts to see him not want to play for us. And I can see where he might not want to play because Tuukka Rask, 25-year-old goaltender who started the year before and played really, really well. And he's primed to take over that #1 spot. And he didn't want to take a backseat role. I get that. But he put the Bruins in a really tough position. I will agree with you there. Really tough position regarding payroll because of the new CBA that they had, which puts them almost over the cap. So they needed to free some cap space. But I'm always going to make the argument that the season that he had, like at the time that he had it, we needed a championship. I haven't seen a championship as a Bruins fan my whole life, and it was really good to watch. Grew the playoff beard, all that kind of stuff. It was just really fun to watch him go out there and consistently be the best player on the ice every night. The save he made against Tampa Bay, falling to his right-hand side, stick save, and saved off the post.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
I would go up to him and I would shake his hand and say thank you. I would no longer buy him a beer. I'm sorry, you quit on the Boston
I call
Bruins.
shenanigans. I think you would definitely buy Tim Thomas a beer. If you saw him in a bar, you would 100% buy
I
him.
mean, yeah, all right, whatever. If I saw him in a bar, apparently he buried himself up in a bunker because he just decided not to play hockey. I don't know. I mean,
makes sense.
obviously, he had incredible years. He won the Vezina in 08, too, and he had an unbelievable statistical season. Brought us back from the dead, really, in 08. I remember going to that playoff series, and Boston was alive again. We ended up dropping to the Canadiens in 7. But, you know, it was great to go. And he revived Boston, but that's what I'm saying. There's not many people that reach that mythical like legend status, especially in Boston, because there are so many people in our past. You know, Larry Legend. He was up there. You could have put him in that argument, and he blew it.
Well, my question to you is, do you think that his skill set, he knew his skill set was declining, and he didn't want to come back and have a year where he wasn't Tim Thomas? You know, if you come back and you pull, you know, a Michael Jordan, where you come back with the Wizards and you can barely get off the floor, and you know you're just getting run up and down the court. No offense to Michael Jordan, he was the greatest player of all time, but do you want to come back and at a position that requires such a premium of attention and focus and being at the peak of your game and just get embarrassed? Because that can happen in the NHL.
But you know you're not going to get too embarrassed. You're going to play 2 games, and then they're going to throw 2 in, and then you can talk to Joe Coulian and just say, oh, you know, I'm not as good as I am, and release me. There's ways to do it. The way he went about it was so distasteful. Like, okay, Ray Allen leaves for Miami. He takes less money, leaves for Miami. Okay. It was at the end of his contract. It's him and his technically, it really is. It's him and his family's decision.
You're going to go into a gray area there with Ray Allen.
It's him and his family's decision, though. He didn't have a contract to play for. He was done. It's up to him. And do I like it as a fan? No, but he doesn't owe me anything. Tim Thomas doesn't owe me anything, but he does owe the Boston Bruins 1 year on the organization.
Well, now, okay, we can move on. If he does play for the Islanders or he suits up, goes to camp, we get the second-round pick, conditional second-round pick.
Yeah.
And you know, that'll give us some consolation, and plus the cap space.
That's the thing. I mean, it is kind of cool because he's actually not. We just traded for a second-round pick without the guy. He's not even playing.
Yeah.
So I don't. You know.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So from the crew here, I'm getting that the People's Champ is coming down again to. It's going to be close here, so we're going to need to do something to separate ourselves. Wow. We're going to bring up a special guest.
I thought I was winning.
We're going to do trivia with Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry, why don't you come on up here?
Oh man, this is.
He's going to ask us
doing
some sports
trivia right
topic.
now.
Yeah, we're going to do trivia.
Oh man, this is.
Am I good here? I'm good. All right.
Yeah, we good?
All right, gentlemen.
Wow. All
It's
right.
coming down to this. Now, we're going to start with a question from baseball.
All right.
What is the average team salary in Major League Baseball?
All right. I think you actually
I
might
think
have gone for
I
it,
did, yeah.
but I don't. I think
I don't know if it
you're.
was exact or not.
I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna go with because I think you said 90. I'm gonna go with because this is Price is Right rules. This
Yeah,
is going
it is.
close.
Always
I'm
Price
going
is Right style.
97.9.
Okay. I'm going to go with 98.6 just because I want to be closer to you. Closer than you.
98.6. The correct answer is 98 million.
It's on the nose.
Taking it.
On-
Taking
All right.
it. That's
So
why you
we'll
gotta
get that
go.
one. I know. I shouldn't have gone so high, but
Oh man. I mean, yo. All right.
All right, the second question, we're going to switch to basketball.
I need this.
So I'm going to describe a player, and you guys, it is up to you to tell me who I am.
Okay.
All right, so in 2002, I had 25.5 points per game in 82 games played. I shot 50.8% from the field and 79.9% from the line. I also piled up 12.7 rebounds per game along with 2.5 blocks. Who am I?
20 in 2002.
well, I would say
2002.
I'm thinking Shaquille O'Neal, but he definitely did not shoot 79% or 87%.
Yeah, there's no way. So, I mean, it's got to be a big man.
That's a tough
because
one.
he had 12.7 boards.
12.7 rebounds a game.
2002.
I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to lock mine in. I think I got it.
What do you know?
Dirk Nowitzki?
Dirk Nowitzki.
Oh,
all
that was,
right.
he was young. He was young.
Yeah, but he's.
All right, so in 2002, if I'm not mistaken, the MVP was Timmy D. I'm going to go with Tim Duncan.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Correct.
Ah.
It is Tim Duncan.
Oh, man.
Dirk was young there. I was
I
blanking.
want it. Oh, I want it right now, Kyle. I'm playing for keeps this
I got
week.
Karl
I want that
Malone running through
Christmas
my
tree.
head. I'm thinking like Charles Barkley. I'm like, no way it was Charles Barkley.
So you guys had touched on this briefly earlier, and now we're going to return to UMass basketball.
Okay.
So how many NCAA tournaments has the UMass basketball team appeared in?
Okay, now you said it was 8, and I
said it
think
was
you're
8.
wrong. I in my head, for some reason, I have 10. I don't know why. For some reason, I'm locking mine in at 10.
I'm gonna go with 6 because I want to make sure that I don't lose this one.
This is,
and
yeah,
get
this is low. This is Price is
skunked.
Right. So
The answer is 8.
It
you
wasn't.
had it in the
right
show,
the first
so you
time.
can do it off the
It's
top
in
of your
there.
head when you think about it. All right.
All right,
All
so
right.
2-1. So we're going to switch it up a little bit for this next question. So I'm going to name a sports figure, and you have to tell me their real first names.
Oh.
Okay.
All right, you ready for this?
All right.
All right, so Tiger Woods.
That's an easy one.
Eldrick.
Eldrick.
Yeah.
That's one of the easiest ones.
Wow.
All right.
Magic Johnson.
Irving.
Irving.
All right. What about Muggsy Bogues?
I have no godly idea what Muggsy Bogues. I thought it was his first name, to be honest with you.
It isn't his first name?
It is not his first name.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea.
Small
I
man.
guess.
Yeah, Spud.
The answer is Tyrone.
Tyrone Bogues.
Tyrone
The more you
Bogues.
know.
Slick name.
All right, next up, Cocoa Crisp.
Oh, I know this one. You know this one?
No. now it's curveballs. First two were great. I was a killer.
Covelli Crisp.
Covelli Crisp.
Okay.
It is. Next up is Chipper Jones.
I think I got this one. I think it's Larry.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was Larry. But
Larry?
Larry, yeah.
All right, Larry, it is.
All right.
And the final one is Mookie Wilson. What is
Oh,
Mookie
I know this.
Wilson's real
I know
name?
this. Imagine that. Look at that. I know this.
I don't know Mookie Wilson.
No?
I don't even want to think about Mookie Wilson.
Share the name with him. William Mookie
Correct
Wilson.
answer.
Okay. So that's another one for you?
Yeah.
That is another one for you. So the last question here is, how many professors are there at Amherst College?
That's ridiculous.
What? All right, what is this
Amherst
sports
College is
talk
small.
show? Why are we?
Did you think of this on the fly?
I did.
Where?
Yeah, no, this was
Sports
this was
talk
an
show over
original.
here. You know, this
Well,
is.
you gotta throw a curveball sometimes. You know?
Okay.
How many
Try a
professors
little
at
something new.
Amherst
I'm gonna go. I think
College?
it's.
Amherst College.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think of UMass and extrapolate, but Amherst College is small in comparison.
Yeah,
I'm
probably
gonna go
Smith would be a good
125.
125. What about you,
What do you think,
Will?
Will?
230.
The answer is 190.
So what do I? So is that 3-2? Do
Kyle
I win the?
Yeah.
I,
You would have won it anyway.
3-2. There it is.
Yeah.
Hand up over to Will here.
This is
This is our People's Champ Trophy. It is a Christmas tree. Will, let me know.
Oh, I get like a Reptar on this thing.
Talk
too.
whatever you want to talk about. Your People's
Oh
Champ.
yes.
Take it away.
All right. So I've made this this claim before, and I'm going to talk this week about a little bit of a tragedy, but I'm also going to make a plea. I'm going to make a plea here. Lindsey Vonn. Oh, I lost my trophy. Lindsey Vonn, if you're listening, please skip. Okay. Please skip Tiger Woods and come over here to Around the Valley. I'll take care of you. Recently, Lindsay just went down pretty hard in a World Cup event in a Super G. She broke her tibia and tore her ACL and MCL. So I wanted to send well wishes out to her, but I was also going to say that I can keep you much better than Tiger Woods can.
Keep her healthy?
I can keep her healthy. I can
He has
serve
the
her
best sports medicine in the
cocoa.
world.
So I just wanted to give those little well wishes out there.
Sure.
You know, yeah. So Lindsey
We're going to
Vonn.
move on to our last segment here. We had on Twitter we put out a question. It was we wanted the people's top 5 sports movies of all time. So I'm going to start. I'm going to ask you, Will. What are your top 5 sports movies of all time?
Top 5 sports movies. I'm still glowing over my.
I mean, it's
victory
okay.
right
Don't
here,
worry.
you know, just
Yeah.
wanna-
Next
wanna
week will be a
throw
different
this
story.
in that, just throw this right there. All right, yeah. All right. So, all right, my top 5 favorite sports movies. I have listed here because we sent this question out last night via Twitter. So mine go Caddy Shack 1, Legend of Bagger Vance 2, Air Bud, solid movie 3, Kazam, underrated Shaq, baby, that's 4, and Bend It Like Beckham is 5.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Interesting choice. Okay.
All Oscar winners.
My top 5 would be Caddy Shack. I agree with you there, Caddy Shack. I think
Unbelievable,
that's
right?
Remember the Titans. I'll watch it every time it's on
Okay,
TV.
yeah.
The Sandlot, which is one of my childhood favorites. Major League, a little Charlie Sheen, Wesley Snipes action. And then I'm going to pick a little bit of a flyer here. Tony Danza and Matthew McConaughey and Danny Glover were in Angels in the Outfield.
Oh my
Out of
God,
left field.
Tony Danza.
Tony Danza, yep. And my honorable mentions were Brink and Johnny Tsunami from the Discovery Channel.
Oh,
From the
yeah.
Disney Channel.
Discovery, yeah.
And the Little Giants and the Mighty Ducks, kind of a
Mighty
different tier.
Ducks.
They're more of a
Oh
younger,
my God,
you know.
knuckle puck time.
So I'm going to read some of the tweets that we've had.
Sure.
Kevin at Bob Mayo says that his top 5 are Caddyshack, Miracle, Happy Gilmore, Major League, and Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
But Miracle, I think that's what you were talking about. Miracle first.
Miracle's definitely I forgot that.
Our friend Victor at Victor Sittler says 4 Days in October. So he's using
Yeah, he was going
documentaries.
documentaries. He's going 30 for 30.
The Sandlot, The U. It's all about The U. The Fab Five, and then Moneyball. Sean at Sean Gillen 9 says Sandlot. Remember the Titans. Again, remember the Titans. Rudy, Rookie of the Year with Henry Rowan Gardner.
Oh, what a
Yes,
what a
that's
movie!
clutch.
We'll help here. What a movie! Great call, Sean.
Replacements, and then he says hashtag Football is zero fun, sir. From remember the Titans, which I like, a little flair
Willie
there.
Gillen.
Luke at Luke Boucher 09. Remember the Titans, Sandlot, Caddy Shack, all favorites. Mighty
Sandlot, we haven't
Ducks
gotten Sandlot yet,
and
have we?
Major League. Yeah, I put Sandlot.
Oh, you did?
in.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Justin, who hosted the show a couple
Justin
weeks
Morton,
ago,
everybody.
he says
Former People's
the
Champ.
Karate Kid '84, which I'm assuming is the one with Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
Not Hillary Swank. And then remember the Titans, Sandlot, Major League, and then Rudy. Another one for Rudy there.
Oh,
Tony at 8 Chart was taken says Caddy Shack, the Hurricane, Kingpin. With,
Woody Harrelson, yeah.
and Bill Murray, and
Yeah.
then Slapshot, and then Rocky. And he puts Rounders in there as an honorable mention, but that's poker. But if you go on by ESPN rules, I'll count that.
I'd count that because that's a terrific movie.
Yeah.
Watch that movie, everybody.
Ted Barry, 617, says The Mighty Ducks, Sandlot, Space Jam, Any Given Sunday, and Caddy Shack.
Oh, Any Given Sunday.
I agree with that.
Cameron
Any Given
Diaz,
Sunday,
yeah, great movie. Great speech. Definitely listen to that when you want to get pumped up by Al Pacino, everybody.
We got
Get a little plug
Mike
in there.
at Mike Collins 50. Remember the Titans, Sandlot, Mighty Ducks, Little Giants, Miracle, and he wanted to throw an honorable mention, Dodgeball.
Oh, he did. He did want to throw an honorable mention. I know that there was one I think I saw. I just wanted to take a shout out to DMC 1622, Devin Crory. He threw the Big Green, which
Big
I
Green.
saw that.
Interesting.
Another. All right. So what do you got here?
Well, yeah,
what
Harry,
are you
give us yours.
thinking?
Oh man, 5? I don't know. What about Jerry Maguire?
Yeah, I'll
that's
count Jerry
sports,
Maguire.
right? Show me the
Yeah.
money. You gotta love that. Yeah.
Green Jr.
All right.
I'm partial to Green Street Hooligans. You
Yes.
guys seen
Soccer
that?
movie.
Hooligans.
Terrific
Soccer
movie.
movie.
Unbelievable.
It's, you know,
wow. all
my
right.
native
Should go by
land.
his
I'm
list. Jesus.
a big soccer guy.
Oh yeah.
Which was the Mighty Ducks that they had the knuckle puck? Because all the other
Mighty
ones I
Ducks
wasn't into, but that
D3?
one.
D2. No, it was
Yeah.
D2 when they
D2.
played Iceland.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
Sorry.
of course,
Oh, man.
of course.
Gunnar Stahl.
Let's go shake that hands.
I don't know. Apart from that, that's 3. I'm partial to Caddy Shack.
Yeah.
I think that's on everybody's
Right,
list.
that's gotta be on everyone's list.
It's the
you
classic.
did a poll, that'd
it's
probably
the
be number.
ultimate
And,
classic movie.
I don't know. Probably Sandlot or a
Sandlot.
baseball one
Yeah.
like that.
Sandlot.
I
Some
gotta
of
agree with that.
those classic baseball
All right.
films.
Yeah.
So is that? I mean, that's pretty much what we had for tweets and for movies.
I'm trying to think of I have one on the tip of my tongue that I can't. Oh, For Love of the Game. Sorry.
Kevin Costner.
But yeah, you gotta love Kevin. Oh, and Field of Dreams. Did anybody put Field of Dreams down there?
Yes, someone put Field of Dreams as
Justin?
honorable mention. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Justin,
honorable
somebody
mention, I
put-
missed it.
I
okay.
think that deserves more than an honorable mention.
I know. Field of
That's
Dreams is a
That's gotta be
classic.
on there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely a classic.
If you build it, they will come. You know.
Exactly.
All right, so that is it for this week on Around the Valley. We hope you guys had as much fun as we did. And I won the People's Champ. Just plugging that. Everybody have a good
Buffalo.
week, and let's hope that there's some cool stuff in sports.